Let's start building out a full website. Here's a couple more control structures that Blade offers us to display data to our users. We have an if statement and a for each. We'll create our homepage now and see these in action. Back in routes.php, we have our home route. Let's delete these comments here, and we will create our new home route, which will pass through a home view. Now we need to go create this view. We're going to look in resources, views, new file, home.blade.php. We'll start this with HTML, my templating app. I am the home page. Let's make sure that gets routed correctly. Refresh this page. Okay, we're back at a new file. I am the home page. Now we're going to pass in some user information to make sure that we can see how a for each or an if statement is done. We'll grab users, and we will use the factory that comes built in with Laravel. So this is a model factory. We're going to use the app user class, create 10 users. Let's do 5. Make. Now make just creates users, but it doesn't save them to the database, which is just fine with us since we didn't actually set up our database. We're just using the PHP built-in server without a database currently. We're going to pass through with compact users. We'll go back into our view. We can close this welcome file, home. Let's do an if statement if users count is greater than 0. So this is going to show only if we have more than 0 users. And if. And here we'll say no users. And then otherwise, we'll say there are users count, and count is just a function on the users collection that comes through. Refresh this, and we have 5 users since that's how many we created. Let's try that again with 10. 10 users. All right. Now, this isn't really going to be very helpful for us, so we will use a for each to loop over our users and display their name. Inside of this, we will for each users as user, and we have to end for each, and we will display user name. Let's put that in an h3 tag. Save that. There are the 10 users that we generated. We can also bring in their email. To show their name and their email. If and for each are going to be some control structures that we use very often in our applications. Now, if we're really curious to see exactly what happens for this Blade templating, we can go look under Storage, Framework, Views to see exactly what view gets generated from Blade. So this is the homepage that gets generated from our @if and from our PHP echoes. This is what gets created for us. We have an if users count 0, else no users. Here's our for each loop that we created. So really, Blade always boils down to PHP, but this is definitely more readable than if we were to create it using pure PHP.